again later if you need, or I can just ask me. I can repeat it again if necessary. So to do this, you do the following procedure. Go to github.com and sign up for an account. Right, so I'll demonstrate doing that. Right, so github.com. Now I'm already logged in. Actually, no, I'm not logged in on this browser. So you just go for sign up. So enter your email and continue. And that's pretty much it. I don't have any spare emails I'm not signed up with, but the next thing it's going to ask you after this is to create a username, right? So once you've gotten that, you create a username. And that's pretty much it. Then confirm your email once you get that done. So once you've gotten into GitHub, what do you do with it? So I'll now log into my own GitHub account and show you what's going on here. My real GitHub account. So then you're going to go here and click on new to make a new repository, and you can give it some name such as Cisco project. And that's pretty much it. You don't really need to do much else after that. Now, once you're here, you don't necessarily need to do this for today, but starting next week, we're going to create files and we're going to start storing the assets we're making here in GitHub. And what you're going to do right now, so that's the making GitHub part. That's the rest of that. Later on, I'll show you. It's not too hard. You can actually do it now, which is to just grab your GitHub URL, whatever you called it, and make sure that is featured in your LaTeX document. Right, so once you've done that, create, and I'll post the video up here in a couple of minutes, you can see it. Create an account for your work here in the class. Create a repository for your Cisco router code. And then as we go forward, starting from next week, as we write Python code, you're going to start storing it in your repository, which I'll demonstrate doing that. So anyway, that's all there is to be said about creating your GitHub repository. So just go and do it and ask me when you have questions. And the next thing I'm going to show you now, which is what you're going to be working on from now until end of class, is we're going to start doing some Python coding. And here's a lab workbook I've set up. So you're going to just be taking the code, work through it one step at a time. Initially, it'll be perhaps a little bit boring, not that interesting, because you have to start somewhere. But after a while, you'll get familiar with it, right? So here is the first 4 modules, which we've already done in previous classes. Just create some simple programs with variables, control structures, and loops, and then just grab the code. And I know that you have Python runtime in your environment, because on week 2 or week 3 or something we did that. So then you just copy that code, make a text file in an editor like Sublime, which is my recommended way of doing it. So paste the code in there. And it's probably a good idea at this point to make a directory for your projects. You want to keep all your stuff organized. So make a project directory to keep all your work organized. And just run your code there. So I'll just call mine C Python Cisco Lab, I suppose. Right, so here's my code I copied from the lab book. So I'll save it in my directory. Make a directory called Python Cisco Lab. And it doesn't matter what you call your file, I'll just call it file 1 for now, .py, and lint your code as Python. Pretty much it. Now how do we run it? Open a command prompt, change to the directory you just made, and there's the program you just made. So you just type Python and whatever's the name of the file. Oh, I see. Yeah, no, this is stuff which is from the lab book, which is not valid Python code. So get rid of those dashes up there. The rest of these are comments, so you can leave them there. That's okay. And get rid of this stuff at the bottom. Save and run it again. Right, and then just study. We'll talk about it more in class next week. But for right now, before I give too much lecture and theory explanation, I just want you to have the experience of running this. Plus, it's pretty well documented what each thing is doing here. So that is, by today, I think you should get at least as far, probably as exercise 5, functions and objects. So that's pretty much it. It is now 10:30, so I'm going to leave you to work by yourself to the end of class. So you've got a couple of things to do now. Make sure you get me that text file. Make sure your LaTeX document is tidied up and organized. Set up your GitHub repository and work on your Python coding drills. I can't think of anything else to say because that's basically what you're going to do. But I'll be here if you have questions. Just come and let me know. I will now kick out this video and